Russian President Vladimir Putin plans to visit China for high-level talks, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Wednesday. The exact dates are yet to be finalized, Peskov said. According to Peskov, trade and economic cooperation as well as global issues would be up for discussion. The topics are quite voluminous, of course, primarily bilateral trade and economic cooperation, but it is also important to exchange views on the situation in the world, in various regions, which are of particular importance for each of our countries, Peskov told reporters on a regular call. Peskov stressed the potential for constructive interaction between Russia and China, based on their shared vision of international relations. Some background: China has refused to condemn Moscow's full-scale invasion of Ukraine or call for the withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukraine's territory. She last met with Putin during a state visit at the Kremlin in March, and the two leaders touted the close ties and strategic visions shared by their countries. Zelensky praises NATO summit talks but says membership invite would have been optimum. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said his discussions with allies at the NATO summit in the Lithuanian capital Vilnius have been good, but emphasized his ultimate goal of accession for Ukraine. "We can state that the results of the summit are good, but should we receive an invitation they would be the optimum," Zelensky said. "We highly appreciate the recognition that Ukraine will not need a membership application plan on its way to NATO. I would like to have success at this summit for everyone, for our soldiers, for our citizens, for our children, for everyone," he added. NATO has eased the pathway for Ukraine to join NATO but not offered a specific time frame. Ukraine's bid for NATO membership has dominated talks at the conference in Vilnius this week, where G7 leaders are expected to pledge further military aid for Kyiv. Today those guarantees could be confirmed by the G7 countries, Zelensky said, adding this will surely become a very important and specific success. Asked about the U.S. decision to send cluster munitions to Ukraine, Zelensky thanked U.S. President Joe Biden. "I know it was a challenge in the United States, it was a challenge in the U.S. Congress, and there are people who are not sharing the support with regards to the cluster munitions. But I want us to take a look at this from a different perspective, from a perspective of fairness." The Ukrainian president also added that Kyiv needs long-range weapons and said he will raise this issue.